Hey guys, keeping with Colin here, and this is part 3 to solving the Rubik's Cube. You will finish the Rubik's Cube today. In the first part, we went over the white cross in the first face, and then the second part, we went over finishing the last edges, and then getting the yellow cross. And this part, we will be aligning the edges of the yellow cross up, then putting the corners in the right spot, and then solving it. Let's get into it. So after you've solved the yellow cross, you try to line up each of these edge pieces with the correct color. What you need to first do is keep turning this top face until you get 2 of these edges aligning. Sometimes the edges will be next to each other, sometimes they'll be opposite. So here, I turned it until 2 of the edges align, they're next to each other. If they're next to each other, then you hold them in the back and on the right side and you do an algorithm. And if they're on the opposite sides of each other, then you just hold it from anywhere and do this algorithm. The algorithm, if they're next to each other, put it in the back and the right, is you bring the right side up, and then you bring this side out, then you bring the right side back down, then you put it back out, then you bring the right side back up, and you put it back to, and bring it back down. So now, if you do this move, you'll see that the cross pieces are all aligned. Now here, if you have these 2 opposite ones, you can hold it from anywhere, and you just do the same algorithm, and then you align it here, or here, and you notice that these 2 are correct, so it's the same case where you bring it up, out, up, back to down. So now you notice that each of these edges are aligned as well. So after aligning each of the cross edges, then the next step is to put the corners each in the correct spot. Now they may not look solved, but they could be. So like this is the yellow, red, and green corner, and this is the yellow, red, and green edge or centers. So this is actually correct. But this one's not, since it's the yellow, orange, and blue, yellow, blue, red. This one's not, and this one's not. So here you'll either have 0, 1, or 4 correct. If you have 0 correct, just do the algorithm I'm about to show you from anywhere. If you have 1 correct, do the algorithm. And if it does not solve each of the corners, then you do it again. Then if you have 4 correct, then you skip this step. So the algorithm is you put the corner in the bottom right, or the front right, and you push this away, bring the right side up, now push it away, bring the left side up, then you put the right side back, down, left side back, down. So these corners are still not solved, but this one stayed solved. So you put the corner here and do the algorithm again. So push it away, right side up, put it back. Left side up, put the right side back, bring the right side down, put the left side back, bring the left side down. So now you notice that each of your corners is either correctly aligned and completed, or that they're just each twisted, because you see that this is the yellow, blue, orange corner, and then this is the yellow, blue, orange centers, and then same for these 2. So now for the final step, putting these corners correctly. Now you can't just twist them because that's actually not allowed. But what you do is you just flip the cube so the white side is facing up. Then you just find any of the corners that needs to be rotated and just put it in the bottom right. So if you remember, when you're inserting the corner in the first face, you did a set of 4 moves. So for here, you do that same set of 4 moves, it's just 2 or 4 times. So for this one, you do those 4 moves twice, and this gets solved. And then you need to make sure to get to this next one, you do the bottom, you turn the bottom layer, you don't turn the whole cube. So you turn the bottom layer into the bottom right slot. You do those 4 moves again until it's solved. This time it did in 2. Then you turn the bottom layer again, do those 4 moves again, twice solved it, and your cube is solved. So here is an example showing where you might have to do it 4 times. So here you put the incorrect corner in the bottom right, do those 4 moves twice, it's not correct, so you do the 4 moves 2 more times, and now it is correct. So now you turn the bottom layer until you get one that's incorrect, do those 4 moves again, and then the cube is solved. Now as always, I will do 2 example solves. So for the first example solve, we have the cross solved obviously, but we need to orient each of these edges. So you just turn it until you have at least 2 oriented. And now, so this time we had these 2 oriented. So you hold it in the back right, and you do the algorithm where you bring it up, out, back down, and then back out again, then up, and put it back, and then back down. So now you can turn and all these are correct. So next up you do the corners. So this time we got one corner in the correct spot, this one, and you put it here and you do the algorithm. And this time we only do it one time and it was correct. So now you flip the cube and you just pick any piece that needs to be rotated and you do those 4 moves once. Didn't solve it, so you do the 4 moves again. Now you see it's facing down. So move the bottom layer, do those 4 moves twice. Didn't do it, so do 4 moves again. That got it. Then you turn to this one, 4 moves twice. Didn't do it, 4 moves again, and it did do it. And now you just have to finish off like that. So for this example solve, we have the yellow cross done again, and we have to orient the corners. So we turn until we have at least 2 of them oriented. So this time we have the opposite 2 oriented, and then these 2 need to be swapped. So you just hold the cube from anywhere, and you do the algorithm where you bring it up, out, back down, back out. Then up, and then 2, bring it back 2, and then down. So now you orient as much as you can. This time these 2 are oriented. So you hold them in the back, then you bring up and out and do the same algorithm. Now you have gotten all these edges oriented. And now you have to orient each of the corners. So this is the yellow, green, orange, yellow, green, orange. This one's correct, this one's incorrect, this one's incorrect, and this one's incorrect. So you hold it in the front right, and you do the algorithm. And then that didn't solve it, so you have to do the algorithm again. And then now these corners just need to be rotated. So you just flip the cube, pick any one of them, put it in the bottom right, and do those 4 moves twice. Oh, that time it got it. So now you do the 4 moves again twice. Didn't do it, so you do the 4 moves again, and your cube is solved. Thanks for watching, and see you next time on Cubing with Colin.